Hi everyone, I'm Chidiera Peters, a YouTube content creator currently based in the UK, and I'm going to be talking about my journey and experience creating education content and also lifestyle content on YouTube. In addition to this, I'll be sharing some tips on how to go about content creation on YouTube. So a little about me. On YouTube, my channel is literally my name, Chidiera Peters, and I was very intentional about that because I want to build a brand around my name. And currently, at the time of shooting this video, I have over 31,000 subscribers and my videos have been watched over 1 million times. Saying that out loud actually sounds surreal, but it's been a journey of years. It has taken me years to get to this point, and I just want to share behind the scenes and why I actually decided to start YouTube. So my YouTube journey started back in 2019. That was when I decided to become serious about YouTube, and what led to this was my experience as an international student in the UK. So a bit of a backstory. I went to the UK in 2019 on a scholarship to do my master's. When I got into the UK, I was a first generation immigrant. Basically, what it means is no member of my family had ever been to the UK, and I was the first to go there. And as a result, I had a lot of challenges trying to figure out how the system works here and how to make most of the opportunities that I had. And because I did not have information, I missed out on amazing opportunities that could have helped my life and made my time as a student easier. One of such information that I did not have access to was the knowledge of hardship funds. So when I got into the UK, before my sponsors, which was the PTDF, which is I was sponsored by the Nigerian government, the Petroleum Technology Development Fund scholarship, before they would pay me my living stipends, there was a delay. And as such, I was in the UK and I did not have any single money on me, and I was really going through some intense financial crisis. And I did not know that as part of my school fees, there was something known as hardship allowance that was paid along with my school fees. And here I was struggling, looking for money, literally going from church to church, looking for where I was going to find food and eat, and also reaching out to people to borrow me money, until I spoke to a friend and he's like, oh, go to the university's financial office and tell them your financial situation, tell them you want to apply for the hardship fund. And I was like, are you being serious? They'll give me free money. He's like, yes, that it's in my school fees. And that's how I went about the whole thing, did the whole application, and I actually got hardship funds up to an amount of, I think, about £500. And I was like, are you kidding me? I've been suffering and this service is available. Just because I did not know, I would have actually missed out on this. And then it got me thinking, if I was going through the same challenge of not having access to the right information, then there are thousands of other international students like me in the UK, particularly international students from Africa, international students from Nigeria, that are going through the same challenges. And then going forward, when I started my academics, when classes kicked off properly, I realized that the educational system in Nigeria and in the UK was vastly different. And all along I've been told that if you can school in Nigeria, when you get to the UK, is nothing. Their system is nothing. You will breeze through it. So I was shocked when I realized it is actually hard. Academics is actually hard in the UK. I had to learn how to do referencing properly. I had to learn how to write critically. All of these things that I did not necessarily do during my time as a student. During my time as a student in Nigeria, the only time I actually did like proper academic writing during my time as a student in Nigeria was when I did my research work, and even that it was to a certain extent. So when I realized that I was actually struggling with this and I was looking for ways to improve myself, I was attending like workshops organized by my school, I was attending classes, I realized that this challenge I'm having is not peculiar to me. There are thousands of students from Nigeria who are schooling in the UK that are having the same issue, and that was why I decided to start my channel. So the goal of my channel was basically to help one student get it right. So what I started doing was just sharing my experiences. When I go through things, I share it on YouTube. I'm like, oh, this is how to write a first class essay because I have written essays that got me first class, right? I share on how to avoid plagiarism because I have now learned how to avoid plagiarism. I share on things to avoid as a student because I realized there were mistakes that I made that you don't need to replicate as a student. And so that was how the channel started. I started in 2019 and I've been on this journey for how many years now? 2019, 2020, okay, 4 years, about 4 years, and the journey so far has been interesting. So I think that provides a bit of context to my choice of content, why I decided to go the educational route. That was because I was basically sharing from my experience. And at the end of the day, with content creation, you want to share something that you're actually passionate about or things that you're genuinely interested in. Next thing I want to focus on is how I built my following. So how I've gone from 0 to 31,000 subscribers. Also, how I was able to build a community off of my YouTube channel. So I have a platform that supports international students in the UK known as the CP community. So basically my name, the Chidiera Peters community. And I was able to build this community off my YouTube channel. Presently, we have over 20,000 student members. And how I was able to do this is what I'm going to share now. So the very first thing is to connect with people. So I was very intentional about connecting with people right from the early stages of my YouTube channel. So whenever someone left a comment on my YouTube channel, I always responded. And I think this was something that made people feel very close to me, because I knew that I wanted to grow this channel, and I know that everyone who comments actually took the time out to type, and the least I could do was reply. So I think for the first year of doing YouTube, every single comment I will respond to it. To the most of my ability, I would respond. If someone says, oh, thank you for this video, I found it really helpful, I'm like, oh, I use the person's name, I personalize my communication. I don't just say thank you. I'm like, hi Jamila, thank you so much for watching the video today. I'm glad you found it helpful. So I was very intentional about making that personalized connections in the comment section of my video. Another thing that I did was to create valuable downloadable content, and this was all thanks to my knowledge of digital marketing and creating sales funnel. I already had the skill, and I just found a way to apply it to grow my channel. So I created a downloadable resource which actually led to the growth of this community, which was a packing checklist. So basically listing out the items that you can pack for your trip to the UK as an international student. And this resource has gotten over 10,000 downloads. It was free, and I just created that, linked it in the description box, and people kept downloading it. And then from there I realized, oh, I have so many email addresses, I could actually start doing a newsletter. And then I started doing a newsletter, sharing my experience as a student. And it was actually my readers, my audience, they were like, oh Chidiera, we need a platform where we can connect, where we can meet other students, where we can integrate. And then they gave me the suggestion to start a Telegram group. I did that, and then I put the link in the newsletters. People joined, and currently in the Telegram groups we are over 14,000 students in the separate Telegram groups, and it's just gone off from there. And then in the Telegram group, the community suggested that, oh, we create an Instagram page, just so we can reach more people. They came up with a name. So the name for this community, the CP community, I did not come up with it. My audience actually did, and that's because I took them along the journey. Right from when I started, I personalized my communication, I created avenues for them to interact with me. As a small scale YouTuber, that was the leverage that I had. Big time YouTubers with like over, let's say, 1 million subscribers cannot reply every single comment, and they also may not have that personalized relationship with their audience, and that's because their audience is really, really large. But when you're starting small, you want to try and create that personalized connection with your audience. Even if it's on Instagram, you create content. When someone comments on your video or on your post, take time out to reply them, make them feel heard and seen. People generally love it when others take an interest in them. So pick an interest in your audience, and it will grow from there. So the impact of my channel so far has been amazing. I think every other day I get an email from one student or another, or somebody in Tanzania, or somebody in Kenya, or even somebody in Israel, somebody in India, telling me, oh, hi Chidiera, thank you so much for your content, it's been really helpful. I get these emails on a daily basis, and each time I get these emails, I just realize how impactful my work has been, or how impactful my channel has been. There was even a time when I was almost done with my studies, when I was looking for jobs. There was this job that was posted on LinkedIn, and my community went to that post, and they were just leaving comments. They were like tagging me, they were mentioning me in the comments, telling the employer that this is the person to hire. They were like, Chidiera Peters, hire Chidiera Peters, she's good as this. That post got over 100 comments from my community members, literally just recommending me for a job. I'm putting their foot down, saying this girl is the girl for the job. So the impact has been it's massive. I don't think I can quantify it in numbers. And for me, just saying that I'm helping one person get it right gives me the fulfillment that I need as a content creator. Not just the impact, my YouTube channel has also opened up other amazing opportunities for me. One of such opportunities is this speaking opportunity, the opportunity to talk to you about my experience. This stems off my YouTube channel. So I have spoken at different stages around the world where I share on different topics, and so basically I get paid for speaking gigs, public speaking. My YouTube channel has also opened me up to consulting. So sometimes I consult for different startups or an email marketing, on sales funnels, different areas of digital marketing. I get consulted for that. Another thing that YouTube has opened me up to is content creation. So sometimes brands reach out to me to create content that they can use on their platforms, and then I get paid for that. Another one, which is actually I think the most common one, is sponsorships. So brands pay me to talk about their products or their services on my YouTube video or in my newsletter. I've actually monetized the newsletter as well, or on my Instagram pages, and I get paid for that as well. So the opportunities has been amazing. And more recently is the current job that I do in the UK. It was actually based off of my experience from YouTube. So the fact that I was able to build a community of my YouTube channel was the experience that qualified me for the job that I have now. So the job that I have now, it wasn't posted anywhere. I did not have to submit a CV. It was more like my boss now, who was the employer then, my boss reached out to me and he's like, oh, we think you can do this job based on this and this, and then they gave me the job. So there's so many things YouTube has opened me up to, and I'm so grateful to have a platform where I can share, connect, and even grow as a person, both professionally and every other way. Just to wrap up, I'm going to be sharing a few tips to help you get started with content creation on YouTube. Now, the very first tip is find something you can talk about for 3 minutes or 7 minutes and film it. A lot of times when people want to get started on YouTube, there's this, oh, what do I talk about? Oh, what do I do? What do I say? Just find something you're interested in. What are you interested in? What can you talk about comfortably for 3 or 7 minutes and enjoy it? That's where you want to start. Okay, so find that thing that you're comfortable talking about, that you like sharing about, the things you like to do. Like, what are those things? Look at your area of interest and then start creating content on those things. The second tip that I have is to start with what you have. A lot of times people feel like, oh, I have to get a camera, I have to get a proper mic like the one I have on, I have to get a proper mic, I have to get lighting, I have to get a whole setup. It doesn't have to be that way. You can literally start with what you have. So I started YouTube in 2019 with my phone, and I'm still using that phone till now. Presently, this video you're watching is shot on my iPhone. Okay, so you can start with what you have. Even before I started using an iPhone, I shot videos on a Techno phone. All I had to do was just ensure I got the right apps and ensure that my settings were right. So you don't need to wait until you get all the fancy gears. Literally, if your phone is a smartphone that comes with a good or a decent camera, you can start with that. And then regarding audio, you don't have to spend so much to get this kind of like wireless mic that I have. You can get a lapel mic. You can get some on Jumia for as low as 2,500 naira, and you can start with that. You don't have to wait to have the whole setup. It was only until this year that I actually invested in lighting for my video. Other than that, I had been shooting videos with natural lighting. So I stay in front of a window or a door or like where it's bright in my room and shoot there. It was this year that I invested in light. So you don't need to do all the higgy haga. Just start with what you have. Okay, the next tip that I have is you don't need to know your niche to start. A lot of times we get so focused on, oh, what's my niche? But what I have learned from my experience on YouTube is that your niche is super fluid. So your niche can change. As you grow and evolve, your niche can change. So you don't have to feel like, oh, if you start doing beauty content today, that's the only thing you can do on YouTube. No, you can decide to pivot at some point. So don't stress so much about niching at this point. And that's the leverage that you have. Because you're just starting out, you can actually do anything. So you can try different types of content and then see the one that resonates with your audience and the one that you actually enjoy doing, and then find a common ground on that and choose that content. The next tip that I have, or the next common excuse that I hear from people is, oh, I don't have ideas. I don't have ideas on what to shoot. I don't have ideas. The truth is, there are no ideas under the sun that are original. So everything you think of, it has been thought of somewhere. Everything you want to do is most likely have been done somewhere in this world, somewhere maybe in a different continent, in a different country. So ideas are not original, but what's original is your authenticity and your personality in creating that content. So instead of looking for ideas, new ideas, you can actually do what a friend of of mine called Stealing Like an Artist, which is basically replicating what has been done by different content creators, but spinning it in your own way. So maybe the way you talk about it will be different. You use your personality, you make it authentic to you, you use your own tone, your own voice to talk about it, because truly there are no original ideas. If you put a topic right now in YouTube, you will see more than 10,000 videos on that same topic. So who is the original owner of that idea? I don't know, but maybe you can let me know. So just to wrap up, I'm going to talk about what it takes to succeed on YouTube. A lot of times I get people ask me, oh, how can I succeed on YouTube? The truth is, it is hard work. So the very first tip to succeeding on YouTube is consistency. If you want to grow on YouTube, you have to be in it for the long run. You have to choose to show up even when you don't feel like it. You need to have a content schedule. You need to stick to it. And the reason is because the YouTube algorithm favors consistent creators, because YouTube is in this for business, right? You know, the more advertisers YouTube gets, the more money YouTube earns as well. So they would favor people who take YouTube as their job and not just people that are doing it, as a one-time thing. So the more consistent you are, the more YouTube will show your videos to people. The more the YouTube platform will suggest your videos to different viewers. So you need to be consistent at it. The second tip to succeeding at YouTube is faith and patience, sprinkled with a lot of hard work. YouTube is work. Shooting video is work. Editing video is work. Setting up. I had to set up lights here. I had to dress up. I had to put my mic on. I had to get my camera stand. Everything. It's a lot of work. So you need to know it is hard work, but you need to be able to be patient in the process. It's a process, okay? So you need to be patient. You need to enjoy the journey from starting to getting to where you want to be on YouTube or growing your platform. And another thing I want to say here is luck. Okay, a lot of times people don't want to acknowledge the role of luck in YouTube, but luck plays a huge role. There are YouTubers who start their YouTube today and then within 3 months they're already at 100,000 subscribers. Some people experience massive growth like that, but luck is something you can't control. So it's better you focus on the things you can control, which is what? Putting out consistent content, putting in the effort to edit properly or learning to edit properly, ensuring that your video has good audio. And like, you need to focus on the things you can control more. And if luck plays a role for you, then that's great. But then if it doesn't, you need to work on your consistency. So these are my top 3 tips. I hope this helps. Okay, so I'm going to stop talking here. Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure sharing my experience here, and I hope that it's been of help to you. You can connect with me on Instagram at the Chidiera Peters or YouTube Chidiera Peters. Thank you.